Okay, here's an example. A person pushes a 250 Newton box across the floor to the right. The person is pushing with a force of 130 newtons, and the friction force between the box and the floor is 150 newtons. Okay, so we got person, box, floor, and earth. All right, and then the person is pushing the box, so that's normal. Okay, the person is on the floor and presumably walking, so that's friction and normal. Okay, the box also has friction and normal, and then everybody gets the earth, gravity. Okay, floor and earth again if you want or not. Okay, so we're going to draw the force diagram of the box. All right, so if I look at the way the guy is pushing, right, the box is feeling his push to the right, so that's going to be force, normal, box, person. Okay, and then the floor is pushing the box upward, so force, normal, box, floor. Okay, the gravity of the earth is pulling the box down, force, gravity, box, earth. Okay, and then there's going to be friction between the box and the floor. Okay, and I can take a look at these numbers and see that the person is pushing 130 newtons and the friction is 150 newtons. So that's going to be negative because it's backwards. Okay, I'll set my positive that way. So that needs to be slightly longer. Okay, so that's force, friction, box, floor. All right, so check this out, because on the quiz what happened is a fair number of people had this backwards, right? So you're thinking about what's happening to the box, what the box is feeling the person this way, and the box is feeling the friction to the back, right? Because those little bristles are going to deflect to the right, and then they're going to try to push backwards. Okay, all right. So now if I'm going to write the sum of the forces in the x direction, okay, so sum of the forces in the x, I have the normal force from the person and the friction force from the ground, the floor, all right? And then if I take a look at those numbers, the person is pushing 130 newtons positive, and friction is pushing 150 newtons negative, so the sum of the forces is going to be negative 20 newtons. Okay, so the sum is not zero, it's negative. That means there's going to be a change in the motion. All right, and then the y direction, I've got Fn box floor plus Fg box earth. Okay, and then, oops, I didn't write those on. Okay, it says the box is 250 newtons, which is telling you its weight. Okay, so that's 250, so that's 250. So 250 newtons plus negative 250 newtons, that's going to be 0. Okay? All right, now, here's where it got dicey on the quiz. Okay, the box is moving to the right. Okay, so that means that the motion direction is positive. Okay, the sum of the forces direction is negative. Okay, so when there is a sum of the forces not 0, that means there's going to be a change. Okay, so it's not at a constant velocity. I don't know why everybody wrote that. Okay, it's not at a constant velocity. The forces have to be balanced for that to happen. Okay, and these clearly are not the same left and right, so there's going to be some kind of a change. Okay, so since the box is moving in a positive direction, that means the graph's going to be above the line. Okay, and if it's trying to move to the right but getting pushed to the left, right, because the extra force is to the left, the friction's winning, that's opposite, so that's going to make it slow down. Okay, so slowing down in a positive is going to be like this. All right, okay, all right, second one. Okay, a child pulls a truck across a floor and the earth. All right, and the child is pulling the truck now, so that's going to be a tension. Okay, pull means tension. All right, everybody's going to get friction and normal with the ground because they're sliding or moving across the ground. Okay, and then everybody's going to get gravity from the earth except the floor, because who cares about the floor? Okay, so that's positive, positive. So I'm drawing a diagram of the truck. Okay, so the force of gravity on the truck from the earth is going to be down. All right, and then the force normal on the truck from the floor, all right, is going to be up. All right. Now, the kid is pulling it to the left, so you're seeing what's happening to the truck, right? The truck feels the child pull him to the left. So this direction is going to be force of tension on the truck from the child. Okay, and so the friction is going to be opposite that. Don't worry about the wheels, right? It's not like a motorized wheel. Force, friction, truck, floor. Okay, all right, so then the numbers, right? It says it's a 5 Newton truck, so that means that's the weight of the truck. So if that's 5, then this is going to be 5. All right, and it says he pulls with 12 newtons of force. Okay, so that's going to be 12 newtons, but it's negative because of the way it's pointing, and the friction force is positive 4. All right, so the unbalanced forces here mean that there's going to be some kind of change in the motion. Okay, so this is not a constant velocity, right? Because there's an unbalance in the forces. All right, so it does not equal 0, and I can see that the bigger one is pointing negative. All right, and I can also calculate that. Force, tension, truck, child, force, friction, truck, floor. Okay, and the child is the one that's negative because it's pulling to the left. That's negative 12, plus the friction is 4. Okay, so that's negative 8 newtons total. Okay, so that's how I know that the force is negative. The sum of the forces is negative. And then in the y direction, I've got force, normal, tension, floor, plus force, gravity, truck, earth. Okay, and that's going to be 5 newtons up, plus negative 5 down. So that's going to be a sum of 0, because in the y direction, there's no change in the motion. Okay, all right, so in this case, he's moving to the left, so that's a negative, right? Because look the way he's walking, right? He's moving to the left, and the sum of his forces is negative. All right, so if he's moving to the left and he's getting pushed extra to the left, that's going to make him speed up, okay, in a negative direction. All right, so since it's a negative velocity, right, he's moving to the left, then I'm going to draw my graph underneath, and he has a negative sum of the forces, so he's going to be getting faster. So it's going to look like this, right? Okay, notice this is a negative slope, right? That's because that is negative right there. Okay, all right, so those are the first 2. There are 3 more you need to do, okay? And then I'll post the answer key, but don't look at it until after you do it.